This the cargo holder? It's so big!
This plane is a special model. It has both a super large cargo hold and ultra luxurious first class seating.
So this is the biggest scene of the murder?
There's certainly a high probability of that, which is why we are here, correct?
Okay, let's get investigating, sir. Holy suitcase, Mr. Edgeworth. It's like an all-you-can-use suitcase there.
These must be the leftover ones they couldn't sell. The ones the company's planning to dispose of after the flight is over.
The paint job's really cool, don't you think? Practically screams artsy.
Oh, why don't you purchase one then? I'm sure it'll bring you much happiness.
You think so? Maybe I will. Let's see here. $1,200? I think I'll pass.
And Ms. Tenrio wonders why they won't sell. You'd need 2 jobs just to buy one. Although it definitely looks like one is missing. What's this brittle substance I'm stepping on? A bunch of glass fragments? I think we can safely conclude these fragments are from a pair of glasses.
And the victim was wearing a pair of broken glasses.
Exactly what I was thinking. I'm sure the shard would match perfectly with the remains of the glasses' lenses. Ergo, the victim was here just as I suspected.
So you're saying the real scene of the crime was here, sir?
Isn't that what I've been saying for a while now?
Oh, it is? I didn't know that.
Perhaps it's a bit early to draw that conclusion. However, I believe the probability has just skyrocketed considerably. All that's left is to find the murder weapon. Keeping track of this many pieces of cargo must be very taxing on the cargo crew.
It sure brings back memories as I worked as a part-time mover, sir.
Well, look at his eyes, he's waiting for me to ask the rest of his story. But no matter how he pours on the puppy eyes, I have no intention of doing so.
Hey, what's with the suitcase, pal?
It's what the victim checked in, sir.
So this
suitcase belonged to Mr. Hicks. I don't think he'd mind if we took a closer look.
There's nothing out of the ordinary in here, sir.
Wait, file?
And there's a photo of Miss Von Karma in it, sir.
Looks like a profile on Franziska. Why would Mr. Hicks have a file on her? Just as Ms. Tenrio said, the timestamp said she bought the suitcase at 5:40 a.m. All sorts of boxes are piled up here. This one says
flammable, and this one says pharmaceuticals.
This one says for exorcism use only. What kind of operation is this airline running?
just love pushing buttons on elevators and crosswalk signals. You should give it a try, sir. Go on, push it.
The elevator is currently stopped on the first floor, Detective. It can't move.
Oh yeah, I guess that would happen if you pushed it now.
Well, nothing would happen normally anyway without the special key card. Both the door to the attendant's room and the elevator's control panels require a key card, making it impossible for a passenger to come down here. Have you noticed anything strange happening around here? No, sir, I haven't noticed a thing. I'm not sure he meant to sound so oblivious. You arrived at the scene of crime before Detective Gumshoe, correct? And you immediately began to direct the investigation. It seems to me you were already here at this airport for something besides this murder.
Yeah, I was. I've been following a very large and involved government-level international crime. It's much too large for one person to take on alone. It was decided I should form a joint investigation with Interpol.
Ah. Interpol is involved?
It's a top-secret operation, so I really can't tell you any more than I already have.
Now, why would Mr. Hicks have documents profiling Franziska?
Oh no, I bet he's a big fan of Miss Von Karma, sir.
Franziska said she'd come to this airport as part of an Interpol investigation.
Maybe Mr. Hicks heard she was coming here and followed her.
Detective, I think it's more likely that Mr. Hicks was in actuality Interpol Agent Hicks. I think Franziska has some explaining to do. You came to this airport to rendezvous with the victim, didn't you?
Nonsense! What are you talking about?
We found a profile detailing information about you in the victim's luggage. I suppose it was prepared for him so he could recognize you when you landed. Which makes him not Mr. Hicks, but rather Interpol Agent Hicks. Isn't that correct?
I should have known you'd figured it out, Myers. But it looks like they got to him first.
So you really did come here to receive an Interpol agent, then?
Yeah. Agent Hicks was on the tail of a very large international smuggling ring. He went undercover to investigate the crime. And it was I who put him on the case. I was supposed to receive a call from him on his cell phone once he landed. I never expected to receive a call about his murder instead.
I think we now have pretty definitive evidence that Agent Hicks came down here to the cargo hold.
But what's he doing down here, sir? There's no but luggage. Oh, I get it. Maybe he forgot something in his suitcase, come down and get it. Ow!
Agent Hicks came here for a work-related reason, of that I'm sure.
Yes, I'm sure he was here to investigate the smuggling operation he was observing. Francisco, do you know exactly how he intended to pursue his investigation?
No. Unfortunately, I was going to find out from him after he landed.
I see, but this one is another question. A normal passenger can't access the cargo hold on their own. Agent Hicks must have identified himself through a member of the crew and entered the cargo hold with that person who let him in.
Excuse me.
Agent Hicks must have identified himself as a member of the crew and entered the cargo hold with that person who let him in.
Yes, and then he was murdered here. These glass fragments of his broken glasses are a testament to that, and then... killer put Agent Hicks in one of the spare suitcases, and they entered the elevator. But while they were riding it up, the plane hit that patch of turbulence. Because of the intense shaking, the suitcase popped open and Agent Hicks' body flew out. At the same time, his wallet fell out of his pocket, spilling its contents everywhere. Which explains why there was money scattered all over the elevator floor.
I think it's pretty easy to say who's the culprit is at this stage.
What, really, sir?
I know what you're thinking, Mars Edgeworth, but the killer can be none other than Miss Rhoda Tenrio. If it was a crew member, any one of them could have shown Agent Hicks to the cargo hold. But the point to keep in mind is the key card that allows the elevator to come here. The only person with such high-level access is Miss Rhoda Tenrio. I'd say that's a pretty decisive piece of information, wouldn't you?
I know what she's trying to say, but I'm not certain it's as simple as that.
Hold it!
That might be true, but then it could be anyone, including Miss Mealy or even the captain.
Don't be a fool. A player without a part in the cockpit is like a horse without a rider, crop in hand, much like Scruffy over there.
Yeah! I can't disagree with her on that. Detective Gumshoe does always need a guiding hand. Very well, what about the other flight attendant, Miss Mealy?
I thought you might ask about her.
Hold it!
It's highly likely that the keycard was stolen from Miss Terrino.
Objection!
It's highly likely. Is that possibility the best you can come up with? You call yourself a disciple of my father?
Ugh. Yes, well, I don't have any evidence.
Be quiet. You're a disgrace. There's more evidence pointing to Miss Rhoda Tenrio, you know. Not just the keycard that gives her away.
Are you talking about the murder weapon, the Captain Hugo piggy bank?
Yeah, she's the only person with the key to open the display case.
Hold it! Objection!
But that's a fake.
Stop right there, Mars Edgeworth. You don't have any proof this is just a red herring. If you must keep on insisting it's a fake, then what is the real murder weapon and where did it go? Species I see? That's not a surprise. After all, you know if we search the entire cargo hold and come up empty-handed.
There must be a way. There must be something that can help me rule out the piggy bank as the murder weapon. What should be examined to help us ascertain the authenticity of the weapon?
Well, we barely looked at the body, so...
Franziska, I think you're too quick to jump to your conclusions.
Oh, was I?
Yes, we don't even have the autopsy results yet. How can I not say that you've made a snap judgment when you have yet to even see if the wound on Agent Hicks's head is consistent with the murder weapon?
Scrappy?
Yes, sir?
Contact the medical examiner's office at once. I wish you hear the results of Agent Hicks's autopsy.
Yes, sir. Oh, you got a big problem, Mr. Edgeworth, sir.
What is it, Detective?
They're still doing the autopsy, but they said they already know this one thing for sure.
Report, now!
Doc said it's one giant bruise from a beating from his shoulder down the middle's back.
From the victim's shoulder to his mid-back? He was beaten over such a wide area?
I'd say maybe to sign the killer a grudge against Agent X. It wasn't just his head. The killer went all out and hit him multiple times, sir.
Scuffy, what is had a grudge against Agent Hicks supposed to mean?
Well, that's,
Was it the wound on the victim's head consistent with the murder weapon, Detective?
Well, they said they're still looking into that, sir.
You're completely useless!
Ow! Sir, I told you already you can't go down there.
No, you remove yourself from my way.
What's all that racket? My luggage, my cargo, they're mine. I demand you return them to me. We're still investigating the cargo hold. Please understand and have a little patience. I suppose there's no choice.
Fine, I think he gave...
Hey, what are you?
You've left me no choice but to use strong force. Rah!
You won't get past me. This is... Wait. That's it. This is what this whole thing's been about.
Not sure what it's getting at here.
Not exactly a shining example of the perfect line of logic. Allegedly, the killer struck the victim many times over, which is why there's extensive bruising over such a wide area. Is that really the correct conclusion to draw from the evidence? The bruise from his shoulder to the middle of his back is one continuous mark, which is more suggestive of a single blow to the back. If that's the case, the piggyback is much too small to have caused that. Ah, therefore the murder weapon must be something far bigger. If we're looking for a rather large weapon, you'd think it'd stick out, but so far we haven't found anything that resembles a weapon of any sort. Perhaps, just perhaps, it's something we all overlooked from the very beginning, because normally it's too impossibly big to be taken into consideration.
What was that all about? Was he trying to jump his way down here?
Franziska.
What? What do you want?
I found it, Franziska. I found the real murder weapon.
You did?
He really jumped.
We didn't realize it until now, but the answer's been right in front of us this whole time.
He might be hurt. We should check on him, sirs.
There's that pompous attitude of yours again. You should learn to drop that habit.
This coming from a prosecutor with a habit of whipping everyone she comes across.
Anyway, if you really are a prosecutor, you'll back yourself up with evidence.
You two aren't listening to me at all, are you?
Come on then, show me the real murder weapon you speak of.
I don't have any evidence to show you.
Foolish reasoning for a foolish fool from a foolishly foolish fool meant to fool me. What do you mean by I don't have any evidence to show?
Perhaps I should have phrased it as, that which caused Agent Hicks's death is incorporeal. Forgive me, but I do believe I figured out what the real cause of death is. The victim fell from a great height and subsequently died as a result. In other words, the real cause of death is free falling to the ground.
He fell to his death?
Yes, that's the only plausible possibility. The victim has extensive bruising on the back of his head and back, and the only rational example for these injuries is that he fell to his death.
But the murder happened inside the plane.
I know.
Are you claiming there's someplace in this plane from which you could have fallen from?
As I said earlier, the answer's been right in front of us the entire time.
You can't mean.
Yes, I do. The victim fell from the top of the stairs of this very cargo hold.
What? Then we're in trouble. We may have a second death on our hands, sirs. Hey you, tell me you aren't dead, pal.
Quiet, why are you screaming?
He's alive. And there you have it, Miles Edgeworth. It's not possible that Agent Hicks fell over surveillance to his death. The man is living proof of that.
I suppose it's true it's not possible given the current circumstances.
The current circumstances? What's that supposed to mean?
Suppose that large piece of cargo wasn't there at the time, what would have happened then?
It would have been a Bourguignon pancake for sure, sir. I suppose that man over there still wouldn't be breathing. But the reality is that the cargo box is there. There's no point in entertaining your wild hypothetical scenarios.
It may be there now, but there's no proof it was always there.
As if there could have been a window of time when the giant box was not there.
But there was.
What?
We're going to use to show it's possible the box was not always where it is now.
Take that!
You're refueling the Republic of Zangfar?
Yes, this flight had a short layover in Zangfar in order to refuel. But that wasn't the only reason for the layover. We also transferred some cargo. What if the box in question was only transferred onto the plane at that time? To further prove my point, let's take a look at what's next to the box in question.
Oh, it's labelled Zangfar Express.
Correct, meaning it was loaded onto the plane in Zangfar. Now, what if the box in question was also loaded on at the same time?
It would mean the box was not here in the cargo hold during the Europe-Zangfar leg of the flight.
Making a clear drop from which Agent Hicks would have fallen from his death entirely possible.
But your theory's still very far-fetched.
Then allow me a chance to prove how very likely my scenario is. My first order of business will be to examine that piece of cargo in more detail. It's a rather large piece of cargo.
There's a tag on it, sir. Let's see. A Fred statue? Never heard of it.
Nor I. But all I care about is if we can prove it wasn't here at the time of the crime.
Let's get investigating, sir.
Look here, do not go touching my possessions without my permission.
Ah, don't rush across like that, pal.
So this belongs to Mr. LeBlanc, does it? I should see what else I can find out from him. I take it this large piece of cargo belongs to you, Mr. LeBlanc. Of course it's mine. I shipped this fine piece of art from Europe. The Alfred statue is worth 10 million cents. No, maybe much, much more. Mr. LeBlanc's reasoning for choosing this plane must have been the large cargo hold.
10 million cents?
I suggest you stop trying to calculate how many packets of noodles that makes, Detective.
Don, how do you do that? I feel like I keep getting better and better at seeing right through me every year.
Though I glow with each revolution of the planet around the sun, I have a distinct impression he continues to madly spin in place.
Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, so that's 10 million cents. Is that euros or dollars?
Does it really make a difference to our case? Mr. LeBlanc, there is a chance that your cargo is related to our murder case. I was wondering if you would allow us to examine it a bit closer. It is very, very valuable piece of art, so no, there'll be no touching. Why show me something of no value? Show me the bread first, maybe we'll talk. You want me to pay him before he'll comment on this? If Mr. LeBlanc had something to do with the smuggling ring, it's possible this big statue was brought on board in Zhangfa. I think I need to question him a bit further. About your statue, Mr. LeBlanc, I wonder if it might be a fake. What? How dare you say art is fake? I suspect that your statue might be the target of an international smuggling ring. Don't say such fantastical things, those fees were not there. I have the certification of my cargo right here.
You mean the cargo certification document? Mr. Sinclair Blanc, why did you not say so earlier? Show it at once. I can't read. What does it say?
It says plain as day, the cargo was put into the plane in Europe.
Oh, so you have it, Mars Edgeworth. Too bad for you. The statue was brought on board in Europe, just as it states on the certificate.
No, that's...
This means there was never a window of time in which the statue wasn't sitting there.
I respectfully disagree. We can't discount the theory until I see the statue for myself. You'll have your wish. Look yourself and see I'm right.
I know I've seen this somewhere before. This is the Alfred. Gives off such a feeling of awe, I can practically smell it.
The statue has high amount of historic value. After it was unveiled in a museum in Europe, I brought to this country to exhibit. I believe a closer look is warranted here. So this is the infamous Alfred statue,
What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Did you find something?
There's something wrong with this picture. We should examine it in more detail.
No wonder this thing's worth 10 million cents. Look at how it sparkles, sir.
I wouldn't call him sparkling, Detective. Maybe more along the lines of dully shining. What's this?
Statue looks like it's stepping over its neighbour's cloth, sir.
Kind of resembles its owner's attitude in a sense.
Can't resemble its owner's attitude in a sense. Ha!
You, what you say just now? Further, my clothing's hem is not to be stepped on by anyone. Too expensive for me to allow to happen. Please forgive the trespass of my subordinate. Why should I forgive the trespasses? Unless it's expensive dress, you keep it. I'm not entirely confident there's a contradiction here.
What?
What do you think, Detective?
I think it's really suspicious looking, sir. A well-trained gut tells me so.
I see. Well, then I must be mistaken.
How come when I answer confidently you take that to mean we're off course, sir? Well, bollocks. What do we do then? Well, fucking hell, what now then?
The statue's art look like they're made of a jewel-like stone.
Those gems sure are pretty. Look at the fiery orange colour, sir.
But according to Mr. LeBlanc, the whole thing's worth a pretty penny.
Oh, I just got a really great idea. I can probably find some rocks down by the river I can polish up to look like real jewels. I think I'll try that one and give one to Maggie as a present next time.
I wonder if he's serious. I wonder if I should try to stop him if he is. Are these eyes made of some sort of gem?
That's a real nice shade of orange. For a sec I couldn't tell they were jewels. Gone along with the eyes of this stray cat that lives near me house.
Are the eyes supposed to be this colour? Is it possible the statue is a fake?
Ah, ha, 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 ha. Let's take one more look. Yes, supposed to be red. Gotcha.
And Eureka! These eyes are awfully orange, don't you think?
Yeah, and pretty. They remind me of sunsets when I went to grade school, sir.
I don't think you see what I'm talking about.
No, I do. But I really like the colour of the sun when it's setting, sir. Ah, memories. I remember standing out in that field, spinning my arms out until I felt ill.
I don't care for sunsets. Focus, detective. What colour are the eyes in this photo?
Aye? Ah, sir, they're red.
As I thought, this statue is a fake. Mr. LeBlanc, what do you want? Do you not know I'm busy man? I allow you 2 seconds for your answer. The A-Leaf Red, I suppose this is your pride and joy, is it not? This biggest trophy on this European trip. You know why I wanted to possess this statue? The trigger started 17 years ago.
Don't grab a chair, sir. Sounds like there's going to be a long story.
Mr. LeBlanc, I regret to inform you, and you may have my heartfelt sympathy, but what is that sympathy for what? You see, I'd like you to compare the eyes. Large fellow has very bright and pretty eyes compared to you. I wasn't talking about the two of us. I meant the statue, the eyes of the statue in front of us and the one in this photo. Why sudden yelling? Now then. Oh! This is photo of the statue on display in the museum in Europe. Ah! Now do you see, Mr. LeBlanc? The statue before us is a fake. A fake? I believe even further examination will be required. Now we've confirmed this is indeed a fake. There must be some sort of proof that this was brought on board in Zhangfa. And I'll present you evidence that will resolve the remaining contradiction.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
This album is a fake.
Your dude isn't looking too happy about it either, sir.
I'll get to the bottom of this for his sake as well as mine.
Can't really able to tell this fake from a single glance, sir. You knew right away that its eyes were a different colour than the ones in the photo.
Yes, and like a certain detective who needs to try a little harder. The fact it's a fake means it was sort of the real one at some point.
The fact that this is on top of this cloth proves that, so what do I corroborate it with? There we go.
This is clearly a contradiction here.
What's you going on about? Just a simple case of a cargo cover getting stuck under another piece of cargo. Oh, that's not possible.
But it is. It shouldn't be this way, but the statue is on top of the cloth. Supposing the neighbouring piece of cargo was brought on board on Zeng Fa, there'd be no way any part of it should wind up under something from Europe. Which means this is a fake statue was smuggled on board in Zeng Fa.
But what about the cargo certificates?
Let me ask in return, what about Agent Hicks? Why'd he come down here in the middle of the flight? There's only one reason why: to secure proof of smuggling activity on board this flight.
So you say? I don't believe he had anything to do. He had to do that mid-flight. Could have just as easily split all of this cargo out as the plane landed.
That may be true, however, you have it backwards, Franziska. Sure, Agent Hicks could have waited until after the plane had landed, but he had a reason for coming down to the cargo hold. Suppose he found the fake at the airport, it would have been after the swap had occurred. At that time, the suspicion would naturally fall on the statue's owner. He would have no way to prove the statue was switched without his knowledge, which means there's someone involved who is forging or modifying cargo certificates.
Mealy did show that she knew how to speak Bulgarian earlier.
I guess the victim knew the real version was going to get nabbed, huh?
I guess the victim knew the real version of this was going to get nabbed, huh?
Yes, while this photo could be seen as nothing more than a simple souvenir, it was in fact taken to be used as a reference document later. Next, Agent Hicks had to secure proof the smuggling had taken place. He came down here to take a picture of the cargo hold. A rather empty one at that, right before the fake statue could be loaded on board.
A photo of the hold missing a valuable piece of cargo would have been proof enough. After all, that was... all he had to do was hold the same cargo crew and arrest the smuggler.
Exactly, that only goes to prove my theory. If the statue was not in the cargo hold during the Europe-Zeng Fa leg of the trip, there would have been enough height for which Agent Hicks could have fallen to his death.
Officer, move the statue immediately. I want a thorough examination of the floor underneath, now.
Ms. Von Karma, I'm ready to report my findings.
Go on.
After moving the Alif Red statue out of the way, we tested the area under it with luminol, and there was a reaction.
I see. There was a reaction to luminol, an indication that there was blood on the spot.
Oh, can we stop looking at it?
Can we stop looking at it now, sirs?
It would seem my deductions were correct after all.
I suppose if it appears that way.
The culprit cleaned up the blood well.
And how do you think the killer did that?
How'd the killer clean up all the blood?
Take that!
The killer used the bloody cloth I found inside the suitcase to clean up the mess.
I see. So they had to need to clean up all the blood before the plane landed in Zeng Fa.
Yes, because otherwise the cargo crew would have discovered it upon the layover.
So you guys are saying the murder happened before the plane landed in Zeng Fa?
There's no other conceivable timeline for the events of the murder. If that's true, that throws a certain person's testimony into doubt. If the murder occurred before it landed in Zeng Fa, then this person becomes highly suspect. Recall Miss Mila's testimony about Agent Hicks in regard to when we departed Zeng Fa.
I saw Mr. Hicks sitting in his seat at 5 a.m., you know.
She claims Agent Hicks was alive at the time of the service calls, but
That totally contradicts the facts, sir.
Why would she lie about something like that?
I think the only person who can answer that is Miss Mila herself.